Hey guys, Darth Gloric here, back with part 1 of my brand new playthrough. We're playing Lucy Got Problems. So this is a visual novel, as you no doubt can see, and we're here for it. It's gonna be good. Not a long one though. According to How Long to Beat, it's like 2.5 hours or something. So I will probably do this in 2 parts. Maybe. I mean, more likely than not, I'll do this in 2 parts. And, you know, we'll just see what happens. The adult patch is on, but that's just for me. Obviously, I'm not showing that on YouTube, so sorry, but it is what it is. I think everything else is fine. Of course, I'm not doing that. What's the point? So, you know, let's hit it. Point and click skippable with no dead ends. Dead ends are on. No point and click, champion cheesecake. What is these difficulties? Bravely face every hardship there is. I don't know. I'm turning off time choices. Admittedly, I was looking up a guide. I was trying to find a guide, and I found one, but I'm gonna be honest, it's like really confusing. And there's like 1,000 dead ends in this game. There is like so many dead ends in this game. So I'm a little tempted to do this one and just like don't dead end and just let me figure it out, and we'll just save spam, you know, and we'll just get through it that way. I'm tempted to do that because obviously without time choices, and if I save it, then like we should be pretty Gucci, I feel like. But I don't really know what this means. Point and click skippable with no dead ends. I don't really know what that means. But there is a skip feature, so if I've seen something before, I can skip it. So if we do something stupid, I can easily just get right back to where we were, right? So I guess I'll just do this. I don't know. I'm tired of thinking about it. All right. Oh, darkest priestess Tiamat. Or Tiamat? Tiamat. I beg you to let me explain myself. Well, hello. The priestess raises her lean white hand in an expressive gesture. Even before her impassive voice rings, I realize I should shut up right now and prostrate myself on the ground. That's what I immediately do. Silence! Despite her frail look, the high priestess doesn't need to raise her voice to be listened to. You will definitely have to explain everything, and be sure not to miss a single detail. Your very existence depends on every choice you have made. Look, there she is. There's Lucy. Anyway, I warily raise my face from the carpet, trying really hard not to sneeze. It's dusty as heaven. Dusty as heaven. Because she's a demon? Get it? Anyway, the priestess still has her eyes on me, so I quickly nod in silence. I have not been given permission to speak, so I should not tempt fate. Of course, I've messed up big time. It would be nice to get out of this pinch alive. If I survive long enough for interrogation, I have good chances to survive this one too, right? Nevertheless, you will speak only when I allow you to, and only about what I deem interesting. Good job, Lucy. Years serving in the Legion of Darkness have not been in vain. Open your mouth too early, and skedaddle skedoodle, you're a nameless pile of ash on the carpet. Wait a minute, is this the reason why it's so dusty? I don't even want to think about it. I catch the priestess's cold gaze on me again and hurry to sprawl back on the carpet, but suddenly I'm dazzled by a bright flash. The air becomes hot and thick. Magic? Magic? Question mark. When I can see again, there are magical glyphs dancing in the air. Then I notice a large sign showing up on the carpet right under me. Astral squids, this is the seal of truth. Do you understand what that means? Now I can't tell your grim highness anything but the truth? Much more interesting. I will now see the truth no matter what it might be. You could say anything you fancy. I doubt the astral squids can taste the difference between a deserter and a lying deserter. When the priestess moves her hand to the side, her concubines holding plates shudder in fear. Even through the humming noise of the spell, I can hear how their rich golden jewelry jingles in the silence of the tent. Surprisingly, in this interrogation tent, you can hear the clanking armor of the marching troops, barking Cerberry, or thundering orders of the centurions. Might be another spell? I'm not very good at spells, so I can only feel magic when it burns my rear. This seal under me really burns. I'm scuttling around in place, but can't quite find a good posture. Tiamat raises her hand once again, and the concubines approach the throne, folding in a deep bow. They guess their lady's wish and immediately start peeling skins and seeds from one bunch of grapes. Yet Tiamat picks another one and waves the servants away. The plate stays floating in the air beside her. I like the feeling of power emanating from Tiamat. I find it arousing. Or could it be because of Tiamat's palatable curves barely covered by her priestly garments? Oops. Looks like I'm daydreaming again. Even for as little as this could send me cleaning out Cerberus kennels. I have no idea what that word is. I wonder if the priestess had noticed anything. As usual, you can't tell for sure, just from looking at her face. Tiamat sends a couple of grapes into her mouth and keeps measuring me with her impenetrable gaze. Name yourself, servant of the Dark Goddess. Lucia, Tora, Libertina, oh my god. Donna, Ida. Is that Margaret? That can't be Margarita. There's no shot. There's no way that's what that word is. Just skip it. Anne Horn Fair. Oh my god, that name. Lucia. There you go. Lucy is what you would call her, not Lucia. Succubus Demon, Scout, 2nd Battalion, 665th Platoon in the Legion of Darkness, your gloominess. There, I did it. Whew. Now I have a moment to breathe. Oh, Darkest One, can I please make a small addendum? The priestess's face keeps its previous expression, but I notice a barely visible movement of her shoulders. Hope it counts as permission. Maybe I should try to appease her? Oh. Okay, well, just gonna go ahead and save. Because I'm not using a guide, so we're just gonna have to brute force this the right way. Find the right to approach, stick to the topic. I don't know. Find the right approach? I'm still hugging the carpet, but my sight slides towards the priestess's throne, stops at her neat white feet, while small pink toenails then strays a bit upwards. But just a bit. I must not ask for too much, and at least not immediately. Would you kindly? I get up on my hands and knees, arc my back, and slowly approach Tiamat's throne. The priestess still looks unfazed, but I notice how she follows the smooth movements of my thighs. And though I'm forced onto all fours, I'm still grateful like a large cat. Allow me to assure you of my utmost loyalty. I stop right in front of the throne and look at Tiamat from below. It's pretty strange to look at the High Priestess through the gap between her lovely breasts, but I enjoy the view. My hand brushes her foot, as if by accident, but Tiamat unerringly recognizes the gesture and moves her foot closer to me. Looks like I managed to interest her. I afford myself a humble smile, and Tiamat allows me to untie the lacing on her sandals. Wow. Look at that. As soon as the obstacle is out of the way, my hands slide over the mistress's delicate skin much more confidently. And readiness to serve you. I carefully touch her foot with my lips, looking directly at the priestess. Can't say for sure, but I think I've noticed a shadow of a smile on her face. Her foot moves a bit closer. Just a tiny bit, but I know she wants me to go on with this, by any means possible. I cover her little pink toe with my lips and suck on it. As if the High Priestess wills it, I'm ready to be punished. Rest assured, I'm a very devoted servant. Tiamat's foot slips out of my hands and moves to my chin. It slightly raises my head, and now I can clearly see a smile on her lips. We shall verify it. And now, tell us about the course of your mission. Begin at the point after you were transported to the Forest of Shadows. Of course, the Forest of Shadows. So, I was walking through the forest, thinking of, the greatness of the Legion of Darkness. There's no shot. That's probably not what happened. Whatever the story is. Let's see. I wonder what they are like. Glossy black, like a mysterious shroud of night. White lace to frame the delicate radiance of her skin. Maybe red, the color of passion, blood, chili sauce, and the wild rivers of the nether realm. Lots of whirlpools, rapids, and waterfalls, and with red-hot magma instead of water. Kind of like the temper of the High Priestess Tiamat. At first glance, she seems cold and aloof, but that can't fool me. I'm an expert in feelings. I even have a diploma, probably. Not really sure. When was the last time I saw it? Whatever. My succubus instincts tell me that calm waters often hide the wildest undercurrents. So red it is. Thinking is so hard. Panties come in so many colors and styles, but I must find out what kind of panties the High Priestess wears. I have a professional interest. Being a professional is tiring, but it can be gratifying too. And, well, at least I can strike out some options right away. I mean, striped panties are cute, but it's hard to imagine them showing up under Tiamat's priestly garments. This pattern might as well say, "Hi there, I'm the girl next door. I'm a girl next door. Care for an ice cream tonight?" Pfft. There's no ice cream in the nether realm, but I've traveled other worlds long enough to know what it is. Sundae with soft caramel and pecan nuts is my favorite. Delicious. I've tried to smuggle ice cream to the lower levels of the nether realm, but the infernal flames make it boil and evaporate. Sometimes the box catches fire first. Good thing it doesn't happen to panties. Wait, maybe that's actually bad? The world of panties is full of mysterious and contradictions. Mysteries, not mysterious. Mysteries and contradictions. For example, why do some panties have strings on their backside? That's impossible to explain. One can only feel them. Oh, and also, that's right, frilled panties. I almost forgot about them. So yeah, frilled and pink. Mighty Tiamat in innocent pink lingerie is a contradiction. And if she's wearing this kind of lingerie is a mystery. Wait, it was and or why? What did she say? And if, okay. And if. It all comes together. I'm one step away from a brilliant discovery. Wait, I must not forget I'm on a mission here. If I keep on daydreaming, I'll find out what Tiamat's wrath looks like, not her panties. But, to be honest, do I even have a chance to see them? Tiamat is still a priestess of a very high rank, like a real noble demon. No way can a common succubus like me get her attention. Besides, Tiamat has her own harem, where everyone dreams to become her favorite and is literally ready to kill for it. That's a damn long and dangerous waiting line. Seems like dreams is all I've got. So why can't I have fun? What harm could mere fantasies do? Oh, we're just gonna go ahead and save the next one. Let's see. Focus. Concentrate on the mission. I can fantasize about Tiamat any other time, and if I don't get back to work right now, my precious bud is in immediate danger. At least the Decanus said so. Anyways, just imagine that out of all the servants of darkness, the High Priestess chose none other than myself for this mission. That means that she must know of my existence. Maybe she even believes in me. And a job well done should be rewarded, right? I might actually have a chance to win her favor. Pull yourself together, Lucy. What do I really know about my mission? I was thinking so hard the sharp points of my ears started trembling. But I couldn't remember a thing. This can't be right. Is this quest so secret that nobody told me anything? Or was I too impressed by my Decanus summer uniform and missed the whole debriefing? Or missed the whole briefing? But it's not my fault. Anyone would get distracted by such eye candy. Besides, I have that thing. What was it? Attention deficiency and hyperactivity disorder? Oh, she has ADHD. I feel her pain. But I guess the High Priestess will get really angry if I come back empty-handed anyway. Looks like I got problems. What should I do? Think, Lucy, think. This forest belongs to the elves, right? So guess I have no other choice but to find them. I was probably sent here to get some kind of elven junk. They should have a camp, a sacred oak, or some other sacred thing nearby. Like... She's just like, I don't know. I slapped myself on the forehead. The Orb of Fate! That's it! That's what I'm after. As one great scout used to say, now you know, and knowing is half the battle. Not that I know what it looks like or what it does, but it sounds kind of round. I just need to track the pointy ears and ask them. They have surely hidden the orb in some sacred tree hole, and probably hired some berserker squirrels to guard it. Oh, whatever, I'm sure I'll figure something... What's that sound? The trees rustle as if under a strong wind, but not a single blade of grass wavers under my feet, and not a single fallen leaf raises into the air. There was actually no wind. What the? Sounds bad. Let's run. Who knows what might be rustling there? I didn't have the desire to find out in person. You know what? I literally already changed my mind. I do want to know. Reload. Let's stay put. I changed my mind already. I wasn't planning to flee, but my legs pulled me away all by themselves. I was backpedaling without realizing what I was running away from. Oh, never mind. Suddenly, a branch cracked under my heel. With a shudder, I looked back for no apparent reason. That's when I saw them. Oh, God. Tiny, bloodthirsty specks of light appeared in the shadows. 2, 4, 10, 30? They appeared faster than I managed to count. This can't be true. Are those... Oh, God. Squirrels! Some sort of demon squirrel. At that point, I only had one option. Run! I dashed back, not looking where I stepped. The forest turned into a blurred whirlpool of colorful stains. Bullets were whizzing above my head. Wait, what? Do squirrels have firearms? I stole a moment to glance behind me and... Wah! Those were acorns, not bullets, but they were still aimed at me. I had only a moment to decide. Oh. Go ahead and run evasively. Damn squirrels! I pivoted to the side. An unpleasant sound crackled to the right of me. I turned quickly enough to notice how shattered wood sprayed in every direction. An acorn hit the tree trunk and pierced right through it? To heaven is this? You're totally nuts! Now it occurred to me, my life was on the line. I upped my speed, and rightly so. Another stream of acorns zapped past my ear. A tiny victory for me, but it was not enough. I won't be able to keep running around the forest forever. I was literally dying for a new plan, and fast. Oh, Lord. Alright. That's why they give you like 9 pages of this stuff. I feel like they're gonna see me if I just keep, like, if I, like, go for a stealth, stealth thing. Faith, that sounds good. As soon as I noticed a small pond, it all came naturally. I jumped, stretched, and found myself underwater. I bet it was too sudden for the squirrels to understand what was happening. A couple of acorns plunged into the pond nearby, but they were ineffective in the water. I broke off a reed to breathe through and stayed under the surface until I got bored. Then my skin soaked and got covered in ugly wrinkles. I had to go up. But I didn't die, and that's what matters. I carefully looked through the reeds. Looks like I can go out. The squirrels gave up first. The shore was completely peaceful, except for... What's that smell? Oh, shoot! The ooze was a great protection against the acorns, but it had some side effects. For example, I looked and smelled like a bogart, a really sad one. Ew! I tried to rub the ooze off with a leaf, but it wasn't really really wasn't satisfying. It's a disaster! I must find clean water immediately. That's not ideal, but I didn't die, so I guess I feel pretty good about it. I haven't seen any sources of clean water on my way here. Or maybe I just don't remember? Does it even matter? At this point, I had a good idea where I want to go, but not how to get there. No one taught us this stuff. I could have disguised myself as a respectable dwarf, but using a beer keg and a handful of squirrels, by using a beer keg and a handful of squirrels, but looking for water is completely outside my competence. I think you need a special rod or a magical pendulum to do it. I rummaged through my pockets and even looked around in search of something that would fit. You never know what you might find among the bushes. Once upon a time, while I was still in training, one imp boasted that he had found a magical rod and 5 naked nymphs in a currant bush. I don't know what that is, or maybe that's just supposed to be currant bush or something. Of course, he lied about the nymphs. If there's more than one of them in the same place, they start a bitch fight for the title of the prettiest one. Imagine what 5 of them would do together. On the other hand, if the rod was ribbed and had a vibration attachment. What the fuck? Oh, wow. What's that? Sadly, it wasn't a magical rod, but an acorn. I rolled my finding in my hand. It's kinda heavy. An acorn is not the best thing ever, but still an okay piece of loot. Firstly, you can hurl an acorn as far as you can and hope it can hit someone nasty in the head. Secondly, if you're desperate enough, you can tie an acorn to a thread and use it as a totally not a magical pendulum. Lastly, an acorn can be a hiding place for a petty forest spirit. We had a lecture about it. I memorized the part about forest spirits well because those woodcuts in the textbook depicted them as tiny naked maidens. Who knows the forest better than a forest spirit? I obviously needed to negotiate with an acorn. Okay, acorn. I stopped mid-sentence thinking. If there may be a maiden in the acorn, she probably has a name. We were not told anything special about the names, but I was almost sure that there would be at least one name for each maiden. Can I address the spirit by the name of the thing it haunts? I decided to play it safe. Acorniel? Let's be honest with one another. Enchantment is not my strongest skill. Maybe she'll just help me as a friend without all this magical bullshit, and I'll help you in return. Say, I'll find you the largest, comfiest pile of mulch, or whatever acorns dream of. In other words, I propose a deal. Purely consensual in exchange for a trivial favor. What do you say? The acorn didn't respond. Either no spirits lived there after all, or the acorn maiden got drunk on the honeydew and was sleeping inside. Now I remembered that petty spirits' laziness got mentioned in legends as often as their beauty. I had to do something about it. I knocked on the acorn shell with a fingernail and shuffled my feet. Ground control to acorn maiden. Ground control. I can't stay here all day. Or rather, I've already been here the whole day and it sucks. I just need to ask for directions. It costs you nothing to just show me the way. Get out of here, you heartless thought! This visual novel's really funny. There's a lot of really funny dialogue in this. Anyway, that cracks me up. The acorn answered me with contemptive silence. Maybe I should shake it a bit? I swung my arm, throwing the acorn upwards, ready to catch it again. But instead of submitting to the force of gravity, the acorn made a barrel roll and dove into the fluffy undergrowth. That didn't work. Damn it! I knew there was a spirit in it! Come back, you! I rushed to chase the acorn. This enchanted bastard won't escape me. I barely saw the target and moved blindly. I couldn't waste my only chance. Ah! Something popped up under my feet. Something bumpy and hard. A root? That's the only thing I had time to think of before the ground jumped up and squarely hit me in the face. Ah! The acorn made a pretzel-shaped loop above my head and flew away for good. This bastard is mocking me. I somehow rolled to the side and was about to moan when my ears caught a sound of voices. For now, I wasn't able to discern words, but I immediately understood that there were two persons speaking. The voices were quickly approaching. That's probably not good. I slightly rolled back to my belly and laid low. Wild and thick ferns in front of me were a perfect concealment. Shh, quiet. Beautiful indeed. And I thought we might, go to get... Shut up. Have you heard anything? Over there. What? What are you talking about? Keep your voice down. I definitely heard something. Huh? Really? Strange, I didn't hear any... Of course you didn't. You can't keep your mouth shut. You just need to be more serious, Ellie. We are the guardians of this forest, and you must act like one. Show that you deserve the title. Fine, I mean, aye, Thea. But I really didn't hear anything. Maybe it's the birds? Wait. Now I also don't hear anything. Might really be the birds. Stay right here, I need to change clothes. Thea, wait! What now? You heard something from this very direction. And? What if there really is something or someone? I can fend for myself. Besides, you'll stay on guard. Hope you were instructed how to handle the spirit spear. Of course! I'm very skilled with it. Very skilled, are you? I'll be sure to test it. For now, just stay put. I'll be right behind these bushes. Alright. Ellie? Yes? Could you look the other way? I feel awkward when you stare at me like this. Oh, alright. I carefully peeped out of my shelter. Right in front of me, there was a real elf girl. With sensors on screen. Now there has to be sensors on screen. Okay, so obviously I'm gonna have to censor the screen, but it's not enough to totally cut away on, so. Besides, that elf girl was undressing. A plan was quickly hatching in my head. I stretched my back and quickly looked around again. A serious-looking elf, apparently named Thea, was focusing on pulling her clothes off, or rather what was left of them. Now I noticed that Thea's outfit was ridden with holes. Oh boy, this forest must have a really corrosive atmosphere. Thea's partner was nowhere to be seen, must have been so embarrassed she decided to keep away. Poor lass. During my little observation, I realized one thing. Ellie was pointy ears deep in love with Thea. She would be better off falling in love with a beehive. I could read Thea from the first sight. Loves bossing around, is a stiff downer, and has no clue about feelings. In a sense, Thea reminded me of my Decanus. Main difference between being that my Decanus wasn't standing pants down just a couple of yards away from me. The only item left on the elf girl was cute pink polka-dotted panties, so I was sure that she had no concealed weapons. I was swift as a cobra, silent like a mouse, and daring like a demoness, about to commit mischief. Sneaking up behind my prey, I muffled her mouth. After a short bout of struggle, I mounted the elf, who was still desperately wriggling. She even tried to bite the hand I was gagging her mouth with. Thea? What was that just now? Is everything okay? Oh crap. Maybe elves can tread without making a sound, but they fall very loudly. Yes, I'm fine. I slipped on a toadstool. Alright, but your voice, it sounds somewhat weird. Are you sure you're okay? Nonsense! I must have caught a cold. Anyway, don't even think of coming over here. I'm not dressed and all that. Never mind, I wasn't even going to. Ellie sounds like she was embarrassed again, and it must have been stupid to rely on it too much. I had to dispose of the evidence that was still trying to bite me. But first, I had to properly restrain her. Without further ado, I freed one hand and pulled the panties off the angry elf girl. Using this diversion, she freed her face from my grip. She even managed to open her mouth, but I swiftly shoved my improvised lace gag into it. 1-0, I win. A saying goes that if you don't have a rope, you are not ready for adventures. I was always ready for adventures, especially ones involving bondage. My trusty 50-foot rope was waiting for its hour stashed in a dimensional pocket. Sorry, suddenly there's something in my eye and I'm all congested and I'm fucking falling apart over here. Pretty soon, the elf girl was tightly bound and ready to be packed. Fortunately, I found a fitting fallen tree with a large hole in the trunk of a bush nearby. The tree was not too rotten, not too damp, in other words, an ideal place to store elf chicks in. I'm gonna have to also censor this. Ready! I always got prizes in knot tying contests, so don't even try to escape. You'll only get tired in the end. Or you may try. I pulled the lower end of the rope through all your private parts. It's not too tight, but still rubs. At least you'll have a good time. Hee hee. Doesn't say anything, all tied up. Don't be so outraged. I found you a wonderful dry hollow and even took care of your recreation. Isn't it true happiness? You can relax and think of something pleasant. What? I'm sorry, I don't understand you. Either it's the language barrier or the panties in your mouth. Should I say the panties barrier? Cute pattern, by the way. Didn't expect to see anything of the sorts on a stoic warrior like you. You're truly full of surprises. I'd love to chat, but your partner will get worried. I'm obviously continuing to censor everything that's going on here. I hope there are no ants in this log. Gotta go. Bye-bye. She's like, have fun in the log. I covered my stash with branches and started thinking. I had to impersonate an elven guard. Normally my skills in disguise would be enough, but a love-struck partner was spoiling everything. Surely Ellie must know every tiny mole on Thea's body. Well, there was one thing I could do about it. Sneck full coverage makeup. Oh, she can do things. Look at that. It worked. Interesting. The suit shouldn't have let me down, but it could. Camouflage is one thing, but copying someone's appearance is on another technological level entirely. The scholar mages of the Legion were still debugging this feature. I was only hoping the effect would last. She's like, what was that? Thea? It took some time to realize that Ellie was addressing me. Well, yeah, it's time to get into the role. Huh? What? You're naked! Oh, right. Well, I warned you. But Ellie didn't hear me anymore. She fainted. Oh, crap. Just immediately she's like, yes, I am. Well, there's another censor for me. God, like, this is not going to be the easiest edit in the world. Whatever. One elf is too aggressive and the other one is unconscious. Nice setup. What? I don't know. Is Thea the one on the ground? Or no, she's the one tied up? I still don't know what you're saying, but I already feel offended, you know. You cannot hide an elf in a log. Since Thea was making a ruckus again, I decided to drag Ellie away. Right, Thea is the girl she's impersonating. But first, I had to dress up so that the sensitive guardian won't pass out again. Yeah, wouldn't want that. Soon I came to a brook. It was very timely because dragging Ellie in my new petite form was not comfortable at all. Besides, I still had to wash off the ooze. Magical disguise made it invisible, but oh dark lord did it stink. I put the elf girl down near the brook and started cleaning myself up. I had to spend a lot of time to scrub the ooze out of every place imaginable, but when I was done, Ellie still laid unconscious. I sprinkled cold water on her face. No effect. She didn't even move an ear. What was the first aid procedure for overexcitement? Maybe assisted ventilation? No, I think that was a case of drowning. Poor thing can get even more excited. It's like, are you okay? How delicious, fit in the palm entirely. Looks like she's waking up. Hey, do you hear me? You okay? Thea. What's going on? Where? Oh, ancient ancestors. You smell funny, like a swamp? Oh crap, it looks like I didn't scrub off all the ooze. I told you I'm sick, it's marsh fever, get it? Anyway, you've fainted while I was changing clothes. Have you tripped over a squirrel? There's a load of them here. So when I found you unconscious, I brought you to the creek to cool you down a little. And you're not, What's wrong? Did you have a bad dream? You look stressed. Should I give you a massage? No! I'm fine! Suddenly, Ellie jumped to her feet. I barely managed to move out of the way so that we won't bash our heads together. I'm in good order. I can still fight. You said you want to test my combat prowess. I'm ready. Right now. What? Oh, well, yeah, I don't think it's such a good idea, especially after your fainting. No, I'm fine. Please believe me. I'm worthy to be a guardian. I know I can make you believe in me only if I show my skill. That's why I ask you, please give me a chance. But I'm not. Please. This was definitely not what I expected. I was going to get some answers and quickly bail, but now I had no choice. Ellie looked very anxious. Whatever I would say, she wouldn't listen, seemingly impressed her partner was way too important for her. I was hoping for a calm talk, but I get it, I had to endure the duel. Well, if we can't avoid it, alright, I'll give you a chance. Thank you! Wait a minute, I will summon my spear. The only thing I knew about spears was that they're sharp and too heavy to swing, and of course I didn't know how to summon one. A shimmer of magical distortion ran up my body. Apparently the suit started glitching because I got nervous. Would be terrific if I changed form right in front of an armed elf girl. Don't panic, don't panic. I solemnly nodded to Ellie, only hoping that my confusion looked like deep thought. And what will you summon? A sword, a bow, a spear? Oh, I probably shouldn't be asking such things, sorry. It's a secret for now. Good battles should have surprises. You mean, are you going to summon a weapon during combat? I didn't even realize it was possible. I'm not sure I stand a chance against this level of mastery, but I will do my best. Yeah, a transparent gleam on Ellie's chest blinked a flare of bright light, and next moment I saw a spear emerging in the elf girl's hands, a very sharp-looking one. I had no idea spears could cause thirst, but my mouth immediately went dry. She's like, oh great, may the goddess bless the worthy. Is this some kind of elven combat salute? Am I supposed to answer something? The elf girl's spear was rapidly approaching. Wait, what? She's like, I'm gonna get killed. I did a full spin, letting Ellie and her spear past me. Reflections on elven... Oh my god, I have no idea what that is. Savoir-faire have already cost me my life. Why do stupid thoughts always come at the worst time possible? Behind my back, something made a loud crackle. I quickly turned around in time to notice Ellie yanking her spear out of a huge crack in a dry tree. Splinters and bark sprayed in every direction. A strike of such strength. Gee, was she trying to kill me for real? Spearhead was directed at me again. Ellie was getting ready for a new round. Well, we're definitely gonna save this one. Attack? I couldn't keep dodging attacks forever. Sooner or later, both of us will run out of stamina, and I can't compete with a trained fighter. Which meant the time had come to take initiative. Trusty blade left its sheath with a clink. For Ellie, it looked like I pulled the blade out of thin air. But it wasn't magical, and the elf immediately noticed that. Oh shit. Thea? But this is not a spiritual weapon. How are you going to... The elf girl was so baffled that she lowered her spear for a moment, and I took advantage of it. Ha! I slipped under a slowly rising spear and dealt several glancing cuts. Oh shit. we almost came close to having to edit again there. Did you see that? The elf herself was unharmed, but her outfit... Kya! Probably Ellie understood I can cause trouble even without a spiritual weapon. It was apparent for both of us that if I keep on going, her dress will soon be turned to shreds. Ellie's face immediately resembled a ripe tomato. Even the tip of her spear was trembling. Well, just gonna save that. Well, admittedly, like, I don't know if this is a good idea or not. And it does technically mean more editing for myself. Moral suppression of the enemy is my strong point. Besides, I like the view gradually opening here and there. Grabbed the knife in a more convenient way, I charged forward. Ellie managed to focus and was holding her spear firmly again. I had to take extra effort not to meet its working end. Finally, I ducked under the haft and rained a series of rapid, light slashes on the elf girl. A light flex of the blade, and there was almost nothing left of the elven guard skirt. What are you? Alright, we still don't have to edit. We're still good. I think. Now she really was pissed. Like, very, very pissed. Ellie raised her spear and Char rushed forward with a battle cry. I felt a gust of wind and then heard a loud crash. There was the spear, impaling an old tree stump just a moment after I moved away from it. Ellie didn't hold back with this attack. It did not only damage the trunk, it pierced right through it, just as planned. Ellie yanked the spear, but it got stuck. The old tree didn't budge. She managed to pull the weapon out only on the second attempt. I wasn't trying to interrupt her because... Ellie did all the work for me. She was so absorbed in pulling the spear out of the wood, she totally overdid it. The elf girl fell on the ground back first. Collision knocked the spear out of her hands, and I used that opportunity. There, we're still good. Still don't have to edit. Before Ellie could reach her weapon, I already sat mounted atop her. My knees were holding her arms to the ground. Ha! It's over. We were both panting heavily. I felt her breast rising frequently under me. Besides, Ellie emitted incredible heat. I saw streams of sweat running down her burning body. Seemed like I literally fired her up, and I wanted more. Thea? What? Oh, right. I still was Thea, and Thea was light. I learned it when Ellie suddenly arced her back, shifted her weight to the upper body, and threw me down over her head. I tumbled and got disoriented for a moment. Uh-oh, she just figured out that you're not actually Thea. It was enough for Ellie to pick up her weapon. We're not done yet. For all angels' sake, Ellie. She actually might not know. I don't know. This is not a development I wished for, but there was nothing to be done about it. The elf girl jumped at me with her spear again. What's worse, she managed to catch her breath while I was staring at her beautiful large eyes. Yeah, it's probably not good. Blows hailed on me one after another, and I felt I was losing ground. Next attack ended in a sound of ripping fabric, but this time it was my suit sustaining damage. The breach immediately responded with a flash of magical energy. My suit, and by extension my disguise, were about to be compromised. I needed to finish this business quick. From that point, Ellie sequenced quick attacks with strong ones. Catching a moment when Ellie would lower her guard before a large swing, I dashed to her. Spearhead whizzed an inch away from my face, but the timing was right. For a moment, I was so close to Ellie, I could kiss her. Instead, I slashed her costume at the stomach, where lacings were placed. Kya! It worked. Ellie immediately forgot about the spear and clutched her tummy as if she was gravely wounded, but she wasn't wounded at all. Even her precious lacing was unharmed. After all, I didn't want poor Ellie to faint again. I easily pulled the spear out of Ellie's weakened fingers and put it aside. Well, now it's really over. Don't worry, your dress is fine. Well, maybe it's more skimpy than usual, but it will hold together in one piece, I promise. Ellie still looked very embarrassed. Hey, I still don't have to edit, let's go. And very sad. She froze in place and was intensely staring at the grass at her feet. I had a bad feeling about this. Hey, what's with the sulking? Is it because of the outfit? Yeah, I got carried away, went overboard a little, but it was your idea to fight in the first place. Ellie vaguely shook her head. Is she gonna cry? But what is it about then? Is it because you lost? Come on, it's just a training fight. That's what training fights are for, training. You'll do better next time. To be honest, you gave me a hard time too. Okay, so she didn't figure out that Lucy is an imposter. I think maybe Lucy was worried she was going to figure it out, and so she's like, oh shit, I can't sit on top of her because she's gonna figure out, wait a minute, like, I'm supposed to be light, she's not light, or whatever, I would assume. Anyway, Elf Girl gave me a long, doubtful look. Really? And you won't tell the Council of Elders about my failure? No. And you won't write a report about me? No. And you won't say I'm not worthy to be a forest guardian? Of course not, that's stupid. Thea, do you feel well? Oh, sorry, the marsh fever, you're sick, right. How could I be so selfish? I just wanted... She was certainly going to cry now. It's fine, don't sweat it. After all, exercises keep one healthy. And now I'm even more worried. There's a gap. It really threw me off. Maybe you should rest? Oh yes, that's it. You should lie down right now. Ellie drew closer and tried to pick me up with a resolute look on her face. Wait, what are you doing? Stop it right now. I didn't mean anything weird. It's just very unusual. You act unusual. Like you're not yourself. I was thinking she switched. Sorry, I understand it sounds stupid. Don't mind it. I must have hurt my head and now strange thoughts appear in it. Haha. A cold shiver ran down my spine. I shouldn't have asked. Magical circuits in my suit started vibrating. For some reason, it appeared that my next misstep would be the last one. At least for my disguise. Her little face. Her fucking face, dude. She's like, totally. You're right, that's nonsense. Ha ha ha. So, how about we go take care of our usual elven business? You mean patrolling the forest? Yes, of course. Patrolling the forest. That fucking face, dude. I can't concentrate. That fucking face. Every time, a high time for us to carefully patrol the whole forest. That's so fucking funny. I couldn't concentrate, dude. I was losing concentration. Where should we go? Your call. Today you will be the lead. I hesitated, remembering the right word. Unfortunately, everything got mixed up in my head after the battle. I had only my common sense to count on. Oh shit. There's no shot it's not Guardian, right? If I remember it right, the elf girls were calling themselves Guardians. I think that they said Guardians earlier. This should work. Guardian. Ellie's ears twitched a little, but she didn't say anything. I want to see if you're fit for the service. Consider it a little exam. Fine, understood. I will show what I've learned. Since I lead the patrol today, we'll go, no, it might be a bad idea. What was I even thinking? Ellie was quickly mumbling under her breath, quietly, sorry. When I found the elves, she was talking about some beautiful place in the forest. I could bet she was trying to ask Thea out on a date. If only Ellie was more determined and Thea was more attentive. But nay, Thea isn't likely to notice anything even if Ellie would sit on her face. Wait, I'm sorry, what? Did you say that? But nay, Thea isn't likely to notice anything even if Ellie would sit on her face. Okay, that is what she said, alright. What did it mean for me? No fun allowed. I was forced to act as if I didn't understand anything. Oh, why is my work so hard? I think we'll just stick to the usual trails. Please follow me. Absolutely. Totally. Let's go. The plan worked pretty well. Ellie was too consumed with the new opportunity to impress her partner, so she wasn't paying attention to my small missteps. Wandering through the forest with an elf girl turned out very easy. Although we were walking through thick undergrowth, the trail was seemingly laying itself under our feet, and the branches avoided catching our clothes. It's hard to explain, but it seemed to me like we were moving much faster than we were walking. Ah, elven magic, I would suppose. Soon, the forest around us grew brighter, and the trees started looking familiar. I hoped that Ellie would get bored walking in silence, but she was only glancing at me from time to time when she thought I wouldn't notice. Oh, yeah, right. Thea doesn't like when Ellie chats a lot. I decided to break the silence first. But, what am I supposed to talk about with an elven patrol woman? I don't know. Do you like this forest? What do you think of the forest? Do you like it here? Of course. It's the land of our ancient ancestors, and I'm happy I can protect it by your side. I understand that in a different time I wouldn't stand a chance to get it in here. My skills were clearly inferior to yours. I know that I was sent here only because of the war. That's why I value every opportunity to be with you. To practice and learn from your experience. Although it's hard for me to tolerate what's happening in here lately. Why would someone destroy things of beauty? I don't understand why the demons would do this. What? Demons? Why everyone tends to blame demons? What are we accused of anyway? I never heard of any operations being carried out in the Forest of Shadows. Well, except my current mission. Ellie seemed to not notice my dismay. Of course, we haven't caught a single demon here yet, but I'm not questioning the wisdom of the elders. Surely they know better. Anyway, with you here, I believe we'll handle anything. We will protect our forest. Yeah, sure. What were you saying about the demons again? Oh, nothing special. The elders believe all that trouble in our forest comes from the demons, somehow. That's what you told me, remember? This forest gave me a lot of trouble so far. Could it be hostile to the elves, too? That's all I know, I guess. I used to be privy to all the latest gossip, but there's barely any gossip in the forest. There's only squirrels, you, me, and, well, we've almost arrived in the Grove of Eternal Trees. While we were talking, time passed so fast, haha. She's so adorable, dude. The forest really changed. Now we were walking past enormous trees. Some of them were so thick that as if they had grown here for all of eternity. I mean, more or less. Anyway, frankly, I'm glad we haven't encountered any demons yet. Maybe it's not actually their fault? What if they're not so bad? Would it be great to negotiate? Would be great to negotiate with them and end the war? I mean, we had wars with the Dark Elves, and now they left their caves and live peacefully by our side. And if the demons are really so bad, yikes! Now that the forest had changed, it won't even warn us of the danger. In this case, there might be a demon behind every bush. What are you talking about? I'm sure that there's not a single demon in our forest. That fucking face. There it is again, dude. The fucking face. I miss the outside world, the world outside these woods just a little bit. All the merry taverns and noisy squares, tall towers of mages and quiet hamlets, and the forest I came from. But if you would sometimes talk to me about different things like we do now, I would be very, very happy. Sorry, I shouldn't ask for such things. You were right. I should concentrate on my mission. Ellie ran forward before I could reply. Well, I'll be blessed. A blue flash blinked in a gap between the trees. At first, I thought it was my imagination and tried to catch up to Ellie. Yet, after several steps, I noticed another flash in the same direction. What could it be? I boldly walked towards the light, but Ellie's call stopped me. Thea, are you sure we're supposed to go there? You tell me. You're in charge today. Oh, right. I think we shouldn't enter the Magical Grove without a good reason. The Magical Grove? Now that was interesting. Okay, what do you remember about this part of the forest? Ellie halted and stared at the leaves of the tree she stood under, as if there were cheat sheets growing on it instead of leaves. So it's a remnant of a magical grove our ancient ancestors planted, and although the grove is not the oldest part of this forest, it holds the most magic. We try not to go there without a good reason, not to disturb the ancestral spirits, and, well, so that nothing would accidentally explode. Magic in the grove is literally filling the air, and it's hard to control. A powerful ancient spirit, the Seer, is also living there. She holds the wisdom of the whole forest. The Seer knows all that happened, what will happen, and what might have happened. Once a year, during the festival of the 10-tailed ferret, we bring her offerings of holiday food and discount coupons. Fucking what? Discount coupons? I mean, guess you never know, right? Discount coupons? What about the magical artifacts? Magical artifacts? Yep, you heard me right. Does the Seer possess any magical artifacts? I don't know for sure, but I believe that, yeah, she should have various magical items. She's well versed in magic. You told me that Keeper Lara was visiting her to ask for guidance before she, well, you know. I mean, I don't want to be too obvious. If I ask what happened to the Keeper, I should know. And although the other question's a little stupid too, so I'm not positive what the right thing to say is. And what does that Keeper keep? The legacy of our people, and this forest, and the Orb of Fate. She's like, aha! Yeah, right. The title is somehow related to the Orb of Fate, but I think I forgot its full official name again. Sorry. Now then, I have learned everything I need. It was time to withdraw. I only had to decide how to do it. Discretion would be better, I think. Ellie, I just realized I forgot one very important item. What item? My panties. What? Just as I said, you were unconscious, so I had to dress in a hurry. Because of haste, I left them somewhere in the clearing. This is the last part of your exam. Bring me my panties. What? I must find, I have to touch, take, hold in my hands your panties? You're absolutely correct. But why can't we go looking for them together? You could, are you nuts? I won't be walking around the forest without panties. Now that I'm aware of my situation, it's extremely immodest. Would you be able to calmly be by my side knowing I don't wear panties? Panties are an important element of the uniform. Or do you think otherwise? No, I didn't mean to. Then go at once and bring them. I'll be waiting for you here. Consider it a military operation. You need to secure the objective and deliver it to the rendezvous point. The honor of our elven uniform depends upon your actions. Roger that, I'll deliver them ASAP. On my way. I waited until Ellie's footsteps disappeared in the distance and went straight to where I saw the sparkling magic. I was hoping that, armed with the new knowledge, I would be able to quickly find the Seer's home. Ha ha! She didn't suspect a thing. Unbelievable. Indeed, what's so hard in searching a small patch of forest? At least that's what I was thinking initially. But the more I was wandering the depths of the magical grove, the more lost I felt. One tree would seem familiar, and then I found its twin growing right behind my back. Sometimes I would stumble upon overgrown trails that eventually disappeared in the grass, or led to the spot I started from. Finally, I came to a road. Why was there a road in a magical grove? That I didn't know, but going along the road was better than endlessly wandering among the trees. Soon the road parted in two. A wide path went straight, being obscured by bushes. A narrow but well-packed trail winded to the left a bit. Oh. Shit. Well. The main path, I would assume, I don't know, it could be anything. I would assume that maybe the main path would lead to whatever the main point of the grove is, right? Like, and then the left is like a side thing? Maybe it's a secret trail. Since the trail is so well trodden, it must be well used. It would surely lead to a place where someone lives. Yeah, totally. I walked up to a junction and turned left. I already felt as if I was wandering this grove for an eternity. The trees grew sparser here, so the moonlight easily reached through the leaves. The road carried me forward, and though it winded among the trees and sometimes hid in tall grass, walking along it was easy and pleasing. Legs were almost moving by themselves. That's why I was so surprised when my boots got stuck in the mud. Then I was surprised even more than I realized there's no trail anymore. Oh god, it was a trap. I fucked up. Only now I felt how awfully tired I was. Oops. I probably just got my ass killed. Oh no. I was still surrounded on all sides by trees, but only these ones were shorter, and they also looked unhealthy. I'm not sure when did I start making a difference between healthy and unhealthy trees, but these definitely were not all right. Their bark was riddled with fat larvae and small dirty yellow mushrooms. Because of their color and moist sheen, they reminded me of... Ew. I don't even want to think about it. Gross, gross, gross. Yeah, it's good that I decided to look around. I wouldn't want to scrub something like that from my suit, too. I still didn't understand where I had found myself, but it would have been better to consider it while seated. I picked up a stick and poked a hump a couple of times before mustering the courage to sit on it. Ground under me was still loose and wet. A swamp? I carefully looked around again. Sparse trees were gnarled and distorted. Some were not as fortunate and sunk into the uneven ground so that only a few branches or roots were sticking above the surface. What at first glance looked like a green field got ripples from the slightest gust of wind. Here and there, pools of ooze were glistening. Well, yeah, there's no doubt I stumbled into a swamp in the middle of the night, and I had not the slightest idea which direction I should proceed. Since I don't know where to start, I can at least go back. Where did I come from? I tried to restore the directions in my memory, but the more I looked, the more I got confused. All the familiar objects disappeared as if someone erased them on purpose. I hugged my trees and knees. My trees. What does that even mean? There's just so many trees on my view, obviously. Easy. It's not so bad. I'll just sit here until morning and after dawn, and we'll see. And after dawn, we'll see. I'm a scout after all. Finding ways out of tight spots is my job, even if there's no way out. Wait, what am I saying? Hey, Lucy, don't pout. There's always the first time, and new experiences are awesome. After all, she says, looking at this fucking swamp. After all, the more experienced you are, the better your CV is. I can view it as a unique opportunity. A CV meaning what? Like a resume? What does that mean? Not everyone gets to be hopelessly lost in a swamp where nobody would ever find them. I went silent. Usually banter would raise my spirits and help me concentrate, but now my thoughts were chaotic and they scared me. It's a bad place. I gotta get out of here as soon as possible. I shrunk. Must have looked very pitiful, a tiny lone figure amid the vast marshes. It took me some time to realize I was hearing a song. What? The song drew closer and closer. Funny, I couldn't determine which direction it was coming from. I already noticed how sounds might act strangely in the forest. I stepped uneasily and turned around. Something is not right. Oh god, I fucked up. Ooh, you're cool looking. I don't know, maybe it's worth it. A figure was lightly treading over the viscous ooze among felled tree trunks. I could discern it even in the fog. This song is wrong. A song about insanity and destruction. I don't know. Suddenly everything went silent. A figure froze a dozen yards away from the place where I was standing, pale and white, shrouded in mist. Oh shit! I'm still invested. I'm still interested. It was staring at me. Run, Lucy. I do feel like running is probably a good plan. Time to go. They all wailed at once, croaked trees, shrouds of torn shadows, hungry entrails of the earth. They shrieked, spun, and closed in on me. Oh god, run! At the same moment, the figure lunged forward. Crap! Flee. I was only left to run. Run. My legs turned into columns of lead. Hurry, Lucy, hurry! Blinded with fear, I couldn't see anything in front of me. Chilling wail in my ears didn't leave me even for a moment. Why was I running? I didn't know the way. My foot got trapped in something. I tried to wriggle out, but only sunk deeper into the damn swamp. Oh god, I'm so dead. Going left was such a bad move. I don't know, it seemed like an okay option. I can't remember what I felt the creature's claws ripped into my throat. Maybe nothing? Yeah, right, nothing, as if I was hollow. Oh god, I died. Bet I died, I'm dead. So that's how it all happened? Learning the details of my own demise from yourself was pretty strange, if I remember correctly what strange means. Too little useful information. I told you we can't send this idiot on a mission without the escort. Now we need to find a replacement with fitting properties. Come on, it was fun, especially the final hours, so much suffering. Besides, we learned something about that hollow. I think we can use it. You think? Now that's new. We didn't learn anything of value, a pointless waste of magical energy. If you were not so miserly, we could have learned more. In the end, your toy got completely out of steam. I'm almost bored to death. To death, got it? Ha ha ha! I'm so dead. She's gonna kill me. Every single time when you are trying to joke, I understand more and more clearly that separating you was a right decision. I think, does she have like a voice on her head? Like a voice on her shoulder? Or she has like multiple personality disorder? Anyway, separating, wait a second, separating me? As if, sister, we're now closer than ever. I'm not your sister, and don't you dare call me that. How many times I need to tell you? It's like, what the fuck is happening? I don't even have time to see how this weird scene ends. Oh god. It's like, she's just killed you. The world in front of me shrieks into a tiny pinhole and then disappears for good. Oh, I think I just died. The victim of the hollow. There's one of the endings. Running around unfamiliar swamps at night is not the best idea in any of the world. Same as turning your back to unknown monsters. Right. Fight for my life? A dagger flicked in my hand before I could think again. Was I gonna fight with this? To the side! The pale shape dashed, barely missing me, slicing the yellow mist in two ghostly wings. My nostrils were assaulted by a pungent stench of the swamp, and something nauseating and sweet that made the air get stuck in my throat. But at least I managed to dodge. I was still alive! A shrill yell of a nightbird made me snap out. Clutching the dagger grip even tighter, I turned around. My eyes raced into the gap between the trees filled with yellow mist and moonlight. This apparition was nowhere to be seen. Where did it go? Oh. So turning my back was actually the stupid plan. Above! Every time! I raised my eyes just in time to notice a white silhouette perched on one of the trees. Come to us, surrender to the hollow. It will understand you. It will accept all of you. It's already inside. It waits. What? Inside, it waits. Always inside. Give up, give up, give up, give up. Be filled by the hollow. Good lord. The creature rushed down with deafening laughter, blasting its way through the pointy branches. The ground under it wallowed and rippled like a living thing. I lurched sideways, but too late. A blow knocked me off my feet. I rolled over the wet grass, gasping for air. Up, get up! Not good. I'm probably still dead. As soon as I raised my head, I saw the wispy outline of the figure. We were only a couple steps apart, but now the creature moved slowly, savoring its moment of triumph. Do you feel it? Do you? Do you? Of course you do. You feel this is the end. Forest will feast. The hollow is a gift. The dagger still glistened in my fist. If this creature was able to hit me, maybe I'd be able to get it too. Uh-huh. She's never gonna buy a ruse. No shot. Stab it. If this thing was out to get me, I wasn't in the mood to make it easy for her. Gah! I pushed off the ground with all of my power, thrusting my hand with a dagger forward. But the creature must have known how I would act. It easily slipped under my stab and caught my arm in a lock at an unnatural angle. Ha! The dagger flew aside. It's all wrong. It can't end like this. Watery, faded out eyes of the creature looked directly at me. Elven eyes for sure. Before, I thought the creature enjoyed the chase, but now, looking at this pale face, I didn't see joy. For a second, I even thought it might let me go. It didn't. It definitely killed me. The creature's sharp claws struck my throat so fast I had no time to be scared. Yeah, it's not good. Hey, Tiamat, what the hell's going on? So that's how it all happened? Okay, so I think this might be the same. Oh, no, maybe not. Oh, yeah, there we go. And I just started to enjoy the story. We don't have enough mana for your pleasure, you pervert. Besides, this ghost didn't have much of her left. It's not even your mana, you killjoy. I'm tired of your constant whining. You know what they say. All work and no play makes Abzu a dull demon. You're beyond help. And there you go. And then, so Tiamat killed me anyway. So that's how I died, and then Tiamat, whatever, erased my existence. And there you go. I died again. Also victim of the hollow. Running around is not the best idea. Turning your back gets your ass killed. Dumbass. Right. Devise a ruse. I clenched my teeth and crawled away from the creature as fast as I could. I wouldn't have time to stand up. We both knew it. The creature made a strange bubbling laughter again. There was no joy or even wicked triumph in it. Most of all, this laugh reminded me smooching of the swamp ooze. Unreliable support gave in under my feet and my elbows slipped in the mud. However I tried, the distance between me and the figure was shrinking. The creature's movements became more agile. It must have been preparing its final attack. I could not escape my pursuer, at least while it was standing. As soon as the creature came close enough, my tail entangled its shin. Creature's eyes were still dark and lifeless, but it appeared for a moment they widened in surprise. Ha! Didn't see the tail move coming, idiot. I pulled as hard as possible. Gah! The creature lost its balance and fell into the thick mud with a shriek. I immediately relaxed my tail and in one move turned to my stomach and tried to get up, desperately clawing at the ground. Ah! It wasn't going to let me go so easily. The creature was firmly holding me by the leg. I wildly swung my free leg, hoping to hit the beast in the head. It shrieked again, whether in pain or in anger, and pulled its prey closer. My ankle, smeared in ooze, finally slipped out of the creature's hands. Despair gave me strength. I raked the creature with both feet and felt something firm under my heels. This time I hit for sure. The thing wailed and reeled not far, but just enough for me to have a chance. I pushed off the ground, stood on one knee, and quickly stood up, grabbing roots and branches. Legs were barely holding me, but I still tried to run. As if out of malice, the trees popped up on my way. Another shriek rang nearby, almost into my ear. I only managed to turn to the sound. A blow. Air burst out of me, like from an open soda can. Everything blended together. The crack of my ribs, branches, screams, light, darkness, white spots, black ones, the black sky above and below. Not good. I got killed anyway. I felt the next blow with my whole body. It wasn't the creature this time. Oh, did she hit me? Maybe I survived? It was water? Hundreds of bubbles twirled around me. I helplessly moved my arms and legs, trying to row, but I couldn't fight the flow. Spitting bars. For a moment, I saw black skies sprinkled with stars. Did I have time to inhale? Did I or did I not? My lungs were burning. With my last strength, I tried to resurface, but the water was whirling and throwing me side to side like a rag doll. Soon I couldn't even tell up from down. Uh-oh. Burning in my chest became unbearable. One moment later, water rushed into my lungs. Oh god, I think I died anyway. Longer than I expected, but I still died. I think. Unless I get pulled out, I guess you don't know. Survived the encounter with the horror. Oh, look at that. The buzz of the alarm clock became more and more annoying. I reluctantly wallowed under the blanket. Warmth was flowing all over my body, except maybe left foot. That was blown over by a pleasant breeze. 5 more minutes. Bzzzt. Insolent clock! I told you 5 more minutes. Who's enchanting this junk? I wriggled again, this time with displeasure. My consciousness slowly cleared, even though I was against it. Why is this despicable piece of trash spoiling my morning? Bzzzt. Shut up, I said. Without opening my eyes, I swung my hand in the air, slipped off the bed, and found myself in the water. Ah! Why is there a flood in my room? I started flailing my arms and legs in panic and painfully hit my knee over the floor. I mean the river bottom. Oh, I didn't die. Look at that, I actually survived. Incredible. Yeah, it was definitely the river bottom. Through transparent greenish water, I could see colorful little stones. Tiny fish already got used to my leg's existence and decided to play catch around them. And of course, there was no bed nearby. Instead, there was a huge log that lazily floated away from me down the stream. Bzzzt. Wait, I'm not in my barracks. I'm standing waist deep in this effing water. Why is there an alarm clock? I started looking around in search of the source of the sound. Oh god. Wait a minute, what the fuck? Right above my head, there was a huge mosquito! If a creature the size of a boar could still be called a mosquito. Ah! Go away, go away, go away! Judging by the sound, the mosquito did an attack maneuver above my head. I haven't seen it myself because I was busy running in circles screaming. Until I finally stumbled on something and splashed face first into the water again. Not good. When I turned my back and stared up, the mosquito above me was gone. Phew! It probably flew away to find a more cooperative dinner. The flow was dragging me further and further down the river, at least this time I wasn't drowning. Warm water gently carried me forward, caressing every inch of my naked skin. Since it's so, why not go with the flow a bit? She's just chilling in the water. I wasn't even upset with the sorry state of my equipment. Of course, I would be reprimanded by the decanus, but at that moment, I was thankful for every tiny hole in my suit. Slowly, one by one, the memories of past events emerged in my head. My mission, ancient forest, magical wisp, the thing in the swamp. I involuntarily shuddered at the thought of the thing. How could it really exist? And what's more surprising, how could I have survived an encounter with it? I felt a transient touch. Huh? Maybe it must be a small fish. Something touched my thigh again. I don't think it's a fish. This time, the stroke wasn't so light. If I didn't know there were only fish and pebbles in this river, I would have thought it was something pushed me on purpose. Huh? The same feeling repeated on the other side. Someone pretty strong hit my thigh. Water around me covered in ripples. I don't know what the answer here is. I would try bolting out of the water. I discovered many truths while wandering in this forest. For example, if something looks like a trap, it's most likely a trap. And if something is probing you under the water, it's most likely a hungry frothmaw and not a handsome pervert. I leaped out of the water like a flying fish, but unlike the fish, I didn't have wings. Well, I mean, a flying fish doesn't really have wings. Anyway, I plopped back into the river. Whoever was underwater, I must have really spooked them. Got it? Well deserved. Water was still waist deep for me, so I easily got back onto my feet and walked to the riverbank. Blast, there's no relaxing here. Maybe that was for the better. Swimming was pleasant, but my stomach was rumbling angrily, reminding me I've skipped breakfast. I needed to find something more nourishing than reeds. Yeah, probably just a monster, you know, or a big-ass fish or something. Don't need to worry about it. The deeper I went into the forest, the more peculiar it became. The weirdest thing was the bluish glow that seemingly came out of every blade of grass. Is this some wild magic? Never thought I would see something like this with my own eyes. In a place like this, you should be doubly cautious. You step on a wrong toad and cause a magical disaster. Well, at least I don't really have to be looking for breakfast here. I slipped my hand into one of the hidden pockets. A couple of minutes and a dozen agile moves later, I held a chocolate chip muffin, fresh and soft right from the oven. Huh, wow, that's convenient. This smell. Funny, I almost forgot one of my pockets leads to a bakery shelf. These mini space doors are a real miracle. Now that the breakfast question was solved, I could walk around as much as I wanted and look around with no stress. I took a small, delightful bite into the muffin and realized my mistake too late. No, this can't be! My throat got tight and tears appeared in my eyes. Not the raisins! Oh, that is tragic. Now that's tragic. Wait for the motorcycle to leave. There we go, he's fading out. What's interesting is it's so loud for me. My microphone doesn't seem to pick it up almost at all. Very confusing. Anyway, I quickly spit out the unfinished cupcake. Blah! Disgusting! How could I be so wrong? Remaining cake got cast into the same shrub while I went through my dimensional pockets again. Grab, tackle, sweep, and a brand new muffin appeared in my hand. This can't be! This one has raisins too! And this one! And this! More and more muffins flew into the bush. I can't believe it! They always used to bake chocolate ones. How could they do this to me? I'll die without chocolate muffins in this stink hole. I fell down to my knees and was ready to cry, but suddenly, through the blur of my tears, I noticed something strange. I even had to rub my eyes in disbelief. On a small clearing right in front of me, there was a door. Whoever put it there clearly knew their trade. The door was standing upright as if supported by invisible walls. Basically, it was just a normal door. If not for an unbelievably strong magical aura, I didn't even need Sneck to notice it. I think that's her suit that lets her transform and stuff. If there is a door, it must lead somewhere, and if a door is magical, it could lead anywhere. For example, into a secret artifact storage. It makes sense to store magical artifacts behind magical doors, right? Maybe that's where the seer lives. I doubt the homeowner would be pleased if I just dropped by without an invitation. Why didn't they add a tag or something? Now I have to decide what to do. Not politely. I won't tempt my fate. It's easy to offend a wizard, but dodging a fireball is much harder. I brushed muffin crumbs off my breast and knocked on the door 3 times. No answer. Knocked again, louder this time. I'm not at home. This voice sounded muted from behind the door, so I couldn't determine who it belonged to. Maybe it's the door itself? If you're not home, then who's talking to me? A voice recording. You can leave a message after the tone. Beep. Hey, don't even try to deceive me. It didn't even sound like a proper tone. And you don't sound like a delivery guy from the Alchemist Workshop. Nevertheless, I'll give you a chance. Do you have any frog-maw tentacles with you? No. How about a fresh censored fish? No, but just as I thought. As soon as you place a door portal for a couple of hours, you get pestered by useless salesmen and their seemingly useless goods. Hey, I am not a man, and I'm not planning to sell anything yet. Actually, I'm here to obtain something instead, maybe some answers at least. Oh my. And what does such a determined person as you do on the wrong side of the door? I am minding my manners. Very well. You may proceed as long as you feel necessary, and then come in so that we can talk business. And is it safe? Possibly. Well, since I had already found a mysterious door in a magical forest, I might as well use the opportunity to enter it. Certainly the voice was just scaring me. It was time to show all these forest hippies what Lucia Farr is made of. These forest hippies. I took the doorknob and eagerly turned it. Gar! Technically, don't have to censor that. I don't think. There was a naked lady behind the door. Or rather, not entirely naked. She was barely covered by a light silk scarf, holding on a prayer and fairy dust. When I opened the door, the light fabric danced in the wind. I beg you a pardon? I must have come in at the wrong time or at the wrong door. I didn't know you were... I'm leaving. And what's the problem? Well, you're undressed. I didn't know you were changing clothes. Me? Changing clothes? The lady suddenly laughed. Darling, I always dress like this. You think this scarf is too short? I never thought succubi may be so shy, especially when you look like that. A well-mannered person would have said your costume was full of holes, but honestly, I'm surprised how all those holes still have some costume between them. That's pretty funny. For some reason, I feel a bit offended. Hey, that wasn't my fault, you know. The mysterious lady just shrugged indifferently. At that moment, I felt a hot wave of magical power. Hey, what are you doing? What was that? A momentary charity. I suddenly realized my costume was back in its original form. Thank you, I guess. Wait a minute. How do you know I'm a succubus? Some call me the seer. Besides, you have horns, a tail, and a heart-branded armband. Well, yeah, sounds convincing. So what was your question? There should be a reason you were so desperate to get in here. Make it quick. I have a ton of important magical stuff to attend to. I don't feel like she's just gonna give it to me, but I'm a little tempted just to ask her. The thing is, I really desperately need the Orb of Fate. I'll be drawn and quartered if I return without it. It's a very magical thingy, and you look like someone who's good at magic, so I wanted... No. No what? It's my answer to your question. You mean you don't know where the Orb of Fate might be? I mean I know perfectly well where the Orb of Fate is. I have it, and you won't get it. Why's that? Because I'm not gonna give it to you. All these questions you had... Even if not, I'm off. Listen, lady. Seer. I took a very flippin' long and hard trip to get here. These cray-cray squirrels almost got me. I got lost in the cursed forest. My shoes gave me blisters. I was starving. I lost faith in my favorite bakery. You can't just kick me out empty-handed. And why is that? I don't know, but it's just not right. I've suffered so much. It's not fair. I don't even know why I'm being refused. I see. Now, be so kind and take your foot off the doorstep, or it will get chopped off by portal magic. And she reached out to the handle to close the door. Stop! You think if you are such a pompous magical being, you could just push me around? How arrogant and insensitive. Yeah, I don't have a cool, fashionable, tiny exclamation mark over my head, but I have feelings. You can't just dismiss a poor adventure with nothing. It's totally plain heartless. What did you say? I got a bad feeling about this. Well, I said that... Go directly to the part where you try to insult me, describing my best traits. Okay, never mind. That was just for pleasure. What did you say about the exclamation mark? Well, it exists. It's pretty big, red, shiny, levitates above your head, right there. Never saw something like this. Is that so? You know, I changed my mind. You will get the Orb of Fate. What? Just like that? I don't know, I'm assuming she's laughing. First, you didn't like that I was gonna give you the Orb of Fate, that I wasn't gonna give you the Orb of Fate. Now you don't like that I am. Say, are you ever satisfied? Me? I'm always satisfied, round the clock. Well, maybe except the times I skip breakfast, or dinner, or when you wake me up too early, or when... It doesn't matter, don't change the subject. You think I don't see through your devious plan? Oh, and what my devious plan is? I do not know, but I'm sure you have one. I feel something fishy about the whole situation. So you're not entirely hopeless. Of course there is a catch. And of course you won't tell me what it is. Why not? Thing is, you are a heroine promised in legends. A heroine to save this world and us all, and so on and so forth. And the Orb of Fate is your tool of the world-saving trade. And also the only chance to survive. What? I'm also baffled, but let's not lose our heads. Heads can be useful, at least you can boil them. Have you ever tasted head stew with orange juice? It's the most refreshing thing ever. Wait, what? Darling, are you healthy? You're spacing out. There's no time to get sick because we need lots of stuff. You said we? Well, of course. I'm your mentor, after all. Nice to meet you. The seer stretched out her hand. Only now I noticed that her hands were black to the elbow, and each finger ended in a delicate claw. Oh, look at that. I didn't notice that. I mean, I did notice this. I thought it was a glove. Is it not a glove? Anyway, I identify myself as a 10-tailed black-footed ferret, and sometimes as an owl. My name's Ferowl, by the way. Feral. It's a little on the nose. But that's for friends only, so you can keep calling me the Seer, and don't you dare misname me. Your name is Lucia Fair, and you have a lot of middle names. Now please shake my hand so that we can end this tiring social ritual. I obediently put my hand into the Seer's palm, and in the blink of an eye, she dragged me through the portal door. Boy, that was confusing. It's a lot to process there. I heard the clank of the clock and words of some spell in an incomprehensible language, though maybe it was just the Seer's accent? She had a strange manner of talking and, well, strange manners in general. Hey look, there she is. What's the meaning of this? Am I in detention? Oh my god, there's no shot I can show that. Gonna have to censor that. You're in my home. Home, right? The moist cave full of shining crystals was nothing I'd call home. It was mostly that someone could live in here. It was even more shocking to find such a place behind the plain-looking door, even if it was reeking of magic. On the other hand, the Seer didn't look like a plain anyone else. You can suit yourself, just don't touch anything and don't sit anywhere. Actually, it would be better if you freeze in place. I don't remember where I put my invisible magical anti-personnel mines. What? Fucking what? They are experimental prototypes, my personal invention. By the way, what were we talking about? But if I'm not a prisoner, why did you shut the door then? It was chilly. Besides, it's not that safe outside. Side effects of the imminent end of the world, you know. Even if you don't know, you will soon enough be a pro in this field, I assure you. End of the world? Crap, that's unfortunate. I just recently transferred to this world and it's already in grave danger. Why do you think I'm the promised legendary heroine anyway? Well, you had arrived like the legends promised. You demand the artifact like the legends promised. Besides, you see a secret sign above my head. That's enough for me. Oh, that's true. Exclamation point. What's up with that? That's all the evidence you have? What if I had just listened to all those legends and lied about seeing the exclamation? I mean the secret sign. I see the truth more often than not, and if I'm wrong, you simply die a horrible and pointless death. And I don't see a problem, so don't worry. You don't see a problem? Just a little cute little laugh, I guess. I'm assuming that's what she's doing. Heroes often have psychological problems because of the societal pressure. All the eyes are turned to them and the public has high expectations, something like that. You're completely safe with me. I have no idea how you managed to survive before our meeting, so I don't expect anything serious from you. Cherish it. Don't you say I could use some words of encouragement. I'm here to mentor you, not to support. And what are you going to mentor me in? For starters, I'll tell you about the artifact that you crave so much. At first glance, it's just a vessel filled with energy. With a huge amount of energy, to be precise. But that doesn't make the artifact unique. There's something else about it that I can't quite make sense of. According to the legends, the Orb of Fate lets you communicate with this world's solipsism core. The solipsism core. What is this thing? And what does it do exactly? You don't need to know how it works. It's an ancient magical artifact. What's your guess? How many great heroes knew in detail the inner workings of their ancient world-saving artifacts? I'll tell you, not a single one. To be adept in such things, you need to spend years in a magical library. If heroines would spend times on this, they would pursue PhD degrees in magical theory instead of saving the world. And they would also suffer from terrible chronic back pain. Desk job is a nightmare for your spine, trust me. But if I don't know how the orb works, how would I use it? I have no idea. Unlike you, I'm not a heroine promised by legends. Think of something. Try dancing, perhaps. It will help some folks from what I've read. Or just don't do anything. Actually, it's not a bad option. Can't promise that the artifact won't detonate if your heart rate spikes. Besides, if the legends are to be believed, the ability to use the orb's full potential is inherent in you. But what if they're wrong? Well, if my assumptions are correct, the most probable outcome would be a lethal one. Plainly spoken, you'll die. Kick the bucket. Get boxed in. Bite the dust. But why should we be so pessimistic, even if it's the most statistically probable result? Negative thinking is a bad companion for the new endeavors, especially if they concern experimenting with ultra-powerful magical artifacts. Cute little laugh, I guess. Seriously though, why don't you just tell me how the artifact works? We would save a crap ton of time and innocent lives. Speaking of time, we don't have it. Explanation would take at least a week. Plus, almost as much time for you to recover from paradigm shock. Huh? The fucking face, dude, it's back. Plus a crate of whiskey, so that's an extra month. We can't postpone saving the world for a month. I already reset the doomsday clock twice. It is a very complex and demanding magical procedure. I will go bankrupt buying the rare ingredients faster than you can say apocalyptic omens. Are you listening to me at all? So no, we can't afford further delay. Considering you still haven't passed your trial. Trial? What kind of trial? Just a normal heroic trial. Don't you read books at all? No matter, just trust me, I know the whole procedure. Hey, that's not fair. You told me you'd just give me the orb, and now it turns out I must overcome some kind of trial? What if I refuse? I promised you'd get the orb, but I never promised to give it away for free. That's one thing. Another one is that that's one thing. Another one is that a process of heroic initiation is usually much more complicated. Alignment test, physical and mental mapping, backstory checks. Candidates are waiting for months to be given release papers so that can go further. And where do they go? To the trial, of course. There are much fewer ancient artifacts than contenders for their ownership. That's why there's a selection process. So if you're not interested... Wait! Okay, I'll take your trial, but after that, I get the Orb of Fate, then and there. I knew we could make a deal. It's not a deal, it's extortion. Cute little laugh. Remember what I said about negative thinking. Let's count it as me motivating you. Don't forget, it's all for the sake of saving the world. The seer looks so pleased I start worrying. There should be a caveat. I probably should have found out what kind of trial it was before agreeing to it. There's no caveat, it's just random number magic. Wait, are you reading my thoughts? Well, I'm a seer. You are a seer and not a telepath. Not fair. Besides, you spoke it out loud. Can I really say it out loud? Yep. I didn't really. Hey, wait. You're cheating. She just laughs. What kind of mentor are you? I thought we should be on the same side. This is for your own good. You will have to concentrate a little if you want to save the world. Since I am to teach you, here's your first lesson. Positive outlook and concentration are 2 of the 3 components of successful world saving. 2 of the 3? And what's the third one? A huge battle axe. Positive outlook, concentration, and a huge battle axe. That's how you win. I can't believe I have agreed to this. Where would I get a huge axe in the middle of a magical forest? For starters, get a card. Huh? A deck of divination cards appeared in the seer's hands again. I have no idea where she was keeping them all this time. Without looking into the deck, the seer rapidly pulled 3 cards and started skillfully tossing them. I barely could follow the movement of her hands. At least I thought I could. Why are you doing this? I don't know what cards you chose anyway. Now you're not just confused, but also perplexed. Perfect conditions for random number magic. Now choose your destiny. Just choose your destiny, huh? Just like that. All right. I boldly took the very first card my eye caught. What's the point of dragging on if you can't guess what's waiting you? Can't wait to meet your destiny, You'd better be prepared. Hasty decisions may lead to the unfortunate consequences. But I don't even know what the cards are. To me, they all look the same. How can I decide which one's better? You can't. The trick is precisely in knowing which options you have. But how can I know it, I wonder? I haven't been bestowed with clairvoyance. Oh, well, you're right, but you still could do something. And what is it? For example, you could ask me to flip the cards. So that's an option? Why not? I don't see a no card flipping zone sign around here. Then what's the point of this farce with the cards? You're training your non-linear thinking. We're training your non-linear thinking. It'll come handy in life. If you survive the trial, of course. And what am I supposed to do? I looked at the card that I pulled. What is this? A mushroom? Some dude picking mushrooms? It's so adorable. Exactly. You got the page of mushrooms. A page of mushrooms. It's an upright position. It signifies a fetch quest. What? You gotta go into the forest and bring me something. A snail. And for the love of the world, don't grab the first thing you see. It might grab back. We've got some werewolf snails in the area, so you better watch before you touch. I'm already having this conversation with you for almost an hour. Would be a shame to lose all the progress. Besides, I need a single specific thing. Are you ready to memorize? I won't repeat it twice. Wait, why can't I just write? Your mark is a spotted penis snail. I don't want to grab that. It looks exactly like it sounds. Don't be wary not to confuse it with a dotted penny snail. What? Penis snails, I don't want any part of that. Like shady and moist corners, while penny snails prefer sunny and elevated spots. You got it? Let your trial commence. Cool, thank you. Final words of the seer barely reached my ears. Unknown force literally ejected me out of the cave. One moment later, I was lying in the middle of the forest, clearing in front of the forest door. My intuition suggested that without the required thingy, I'd better not go back to the seer. Could have done it a bit more gentle, you know? Why are all the mages so cracked up? Ugh. Well... Well, there you go, kids. I think that will be where we call this episode. Oh my god. What a wild visual novel. What a wild visual novel. It didn't make myself, this didn't make it easy for myself in editing. It's, there's a copious amount of editing in this. It's not so much on the, just like the cut footage front, because there's not a lot of cut footage. It's more just the fact that I'm gonna have to constantly put things on screen. Luckily, if I have to do my super janky editing, because I can't do real editing, like blurring and stuff, because I don't know how. But even if I can't do that, my luckily visual novels are very compatible with my very janky editing, because there's generally speaking not a lot of movement going on, and so if something needs to be censored on screen, I can still show the screen. I can just cover up one spot and not have to move it, and you know, generally speaking, so you know. It could be worse, it could be worse, but I'm interested. So because I'm not using a guide, I think what we'll probably do, and don't quote me on this, we'll see, but at the moment I'm kind of thinking that maybe what I'll do is we'll play through it until it's over, whatever happens. I suspect that'll be the next part. And then now maybe we end up needing a third part. Maybe we can squeeze it all into the second part. I just depends on the situation at the time. But I'm thinking what I'll do is maybe I might record the other endings. Like maybe we'll use the skip feature and we'll skip through and just show a lot of the rest of the options if I don't like my ending, or if I'm curious about other endings. If I'm like happy enough with the ending I get, whatever happens. And I don't know if there's like, is it just like 4 bad endings and then 1 good ending, or is there, or what? I don't really know how it all works. But if I'm happy with what we got, we might call it there. If not, we'll keep going until I get something I'm happy with. I might not be completionist about it. Like I might not show every ending on doing every option, because there's just a lot of ways to get killed is what I saw. Based upon this one guide that I found, that it was an achievement guide and not a guide to just the endings. And so I'm not using it. And so we'll just sort of have to see what happens. We'll play it by ear, but we'll probably just go until I'm satisfied with an ending, and then maybe we'll keep going and just until I see other good endings or whatever. But I'm just kind of playing it by ear. This is very blind. I've never done this before, so never done it. So it's very blind, and it's interesting. Lots of moments that are really funny, and so you know. It's a good time. I'm here for it. So anyway, that is going to call for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the content today, and we will talk to you guys later. Oh, did I just collateral that guy? Yeet. There, you go first. He's like, I think it's clear, man. You're good. As the great Bob Ross would say, what a happy accident. Later, idiots. I could hear Darth Vader in my head. I have you now. No, walk it off, bro. You're okay. It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up. That was so perfect.